Let's bounce the basketball. Sandy Pomerantz. Sandy Pomerantz grew up to be a basketball player, and he was good. In his senior year at University City High School, he averaged 32 points a game and was a Parade Magazine All-American. He and 4 other first-team All-Americans appeared on the Steve Allen television show. Those of you who are old enough to remember, that was quite a thing, the Steve Allen show. Sandy received more than 50 college scholarship offers. He picked the University of Cincinnati. Those were the days when freshmen, though, were not allowed to play varsity. As a sophomore, he helped Cincinnati win the Missouri Valley Conference Championship and a trip to the Final Four. Then Sandy transferred to Washington University here in St. Louis as a junior and averaged 25 points a game for the Bears. A knee injury ended his senior season, and he entered WashU's School of Law, so he's able to play another season and averaged 22 points and was a named College All-American. He played on the U.S. basketball and volleyball teams in the games in Israel, winning gold in basketball and bronze in volleyball. Sandy's in the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame, the Washington University Hall of Fame, the Jewish Sports Hall of Fame, and tonight we welcome Sandy Pomerantz into the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame.
When you are a high school All-American basketball player, do you appreciate it a little bit more now than you did at the time?
I do. I mean, obviously this event brings back memories that were of a long time ago, and I want to thank the committee for selecting me or even remembering me. But I grew up in St. Louis. And I attended, University City Schools and played there for 3 years in high school. And I had it was a wonderful place to grow up, and it was a very, very good experience. And they had through high school. And that sort of topped it off when all of a sudden I found that I was going to be flying to New York. I was 17 years old, never been in an airplane, and was among 4 other players who just happened to be selected by some unknown selecting committee, and that was what I remember about it.
And you wound up, that'd be like a senior in high school winding up on the Fallon show now. What was it like when you made that trip to New York and you were on national TV?
Well, I mean, what I remember is dribbling a ball out, and Don Knotts, who some of you may or may not remember, came out and handed us trophies. He about came up to some of our knees, and that was what the shtick was with Steve Allen. But again, I was 17 years old, and I think even then I realized flying home that this is going to be an experience that is not going to be replicated in my life at that particular time, and I was young enough to enjoy it and probably old enough to recognize what it was.
What was practice like at Cincinnati? You played
1 year with Oscar Robertson, and it was an experience. I mean, he just simply was above and beyond what anyone could expect a player to be, notwithstanding the fact that I had read about him and his exploits, but until you really played with him, guarded him, had him guard you, it just was not an experience that I could have anticipated. He was the best, and may very well, some think he still is the best. Talked to Mike Farmer, who's here, who played with him, and that was one of the things that we talked about earlier on this evening, was just how good he was, even among today's players.
And then Sandy transfers from Cincinnati to WashU. Obviously, the gap now between conference championship teams in Division I and WashU is pretty dramatic. What was it like when you made that move from Cincinnati to WashU?
Well, I had sort of gotten banged up, and I was hurt, and I just physically, hopefully not mentally, and I decided that it would sort of be nice to come home and play. At that time, St. Louis U was in the Missouri Valley Conference. I couldn't transfer to St. Louis U. In Washington U, I talked to Chuck Smith, who was the coach. They had a very, very competitive schedule. And I mean, last year I remember we played Loyola Chicago, who won the NCAA in 62-63. played Illinois, who won the Big Ten. We played Drake, who was one, I think they either were in the finals of the NIT when the NIT really was a so we played a lot of good teams, and it was plenty competitive, believe me. Plus, I got to go to law. Last year I played, because I was injured 1 year, I played my first year of law school, and what was really very, very nice was that I was assured that if I played, that I wouldn't miss any class. When my first year of law school, they have orientation, and you sit in an auditorium, and whoever gave the orientation says, look to your right, look to your left. One of you won't be here at the end of the year. So I worried that at that time, a large percentage of students didn't finish, and the coach and the athletic director assured me that whatever would happen would be I would be able to attend class, which I did, made it through.
Well, congratulations. I want to ask one more thing here, and that is in regards to what basketball was able to do for you, because you were the first executive director of the JCCA, right?
No. I was a lay. I was the president. I was just a lay person.
Okay, but then getting into to law, what did basketball do for you to propel you into your professional life?
Well, again, it was what I had decided to do when I came back to Washington University, was to attend law school, hopefully graduate from law school. And I must say that, that I did run into a lot of people that remembered that I played basketball. What effect that had on anything, I can't tell you. But, people, perhaps not today, tomorrow, the day before yesterday, but back many years ago, my contemporaries did, at least I had an entree when they heard my name. They didn't hang up on me.
Great. Sandy Pomerantz, we welcome him into the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame.